chemical equilibrium, chemical equilibria or chemical equilibrium. Chemical reactions basing on the completion, they can be divided into two types. They are irreversible chemical reactions and reversible chemical reactions. Irreversible chemical reactions and reversible chemical reactions. Irreversible chemical reactions and reversible chemical reactions. What are irreversible chemical reaction? In any chemical reaction, the species which take part into the chemical reaction is said to be reactants, and the species which is obtained due to the chemical reaction is said to be product. If more than one is present, we call as a products. These two, while representing the chemical reaction with a symbol, will represent like this. So, in a irreversible chemical reaction, the reactant will convert into a product, but under same conditions, the product will not convert back into reactant. Such reactions are said to be irreversible chemical reactions or unidirectional chemical reactions. For example, if you take all combustion reactions are irreversible. If you take carbon, if you burn carbon in presence of oxygen, it will give us carbon dioxide. But from carbon dioxide, it is not possible to divide carbon and oxygen under same experimental conditions. Similarly, when magnesium burn in presence of oxygen, it will give us magnesium oxide. So under same conditions, it is not possible to convert magnesium oxide back into magnesium and oxygen. So similarly, there are so many reactions in which reactant may convert into product, but the product will never be converted back into reactant under same experimental conditions. There are certain reactions in which reactants will convert into products and products will convert it back into reactant under same experimental conditions. For example, if you take hydrogen gas, when it is mixed with iodine gas, these two will react to give hydrogen iodide. Or if you take hydrogen iodide, it decomposes to give H2 plus I2. That means under same experimental conditions, hydrogen and iodine combine to give hydrogen iodide. At the same time, under same conditions, hydrogen iodide will get back or dissociate into hydrogen and iodine. Such reactions are called as reversible chemical reactions. In reversible chemical reactions, we represent, instead of the single arrow mark, we represent this reaction with opposite directional half arrows like this. This is the way to represent a reversible chemical reaction. Here, the conversion of reactant into product, conversion of reactant into product is known as forward reaction. This reaction is known as forward reaction. And conversion of product back into the reactant is said to be backward reaction. Forward reaction and backward reaction. So, in present class, we are going to discuss the reversible reactions in detail. Reversible chemical reactions. These reversible chemical reactions are the reactions in which reactants will convert into product and product will convert it back into reactants under same experimental conditions. Such reactants are said to be reversible chemical reactions. So in a reversible chemical reaction, the species which take part into the reaction is said to be reactant. And the species which obtained during the reaction is said to be product. And these two are separated by oppositely directional half arrows. Oppositely directional half arrows. If we observe in such reactions, initially, at the initial state of the reaction, only reactants will present. According to law of active mass, the rate of the chemical reaction is directly proportional to the molar concentrations of the reacting species, because actually it is active masses of the reacting species. Active masses are nothing but molar concentrations in case of solutions, partial pressures in case of gases. So, rate of the chemical reaction is directly proportional to the product of the active masses of the reacting species. So, naturally in a reversible chemical reaction, initially only reactants will present. After some time, gradually the products are forming. After attaining certain concentration, the products will start convert back into reactants. So, in reversible chemical reactions, initially only reactants will present. So, naturally, the forward reaction rate is maximum initially, because rate of the reaction is directly proportional to concentrations. As concentrations of reactants are more, forward reaction rate is maximum initially. As time goes on, as reactants are take part into the reaction, their concentrations will gradually decreases. As concentrations are decreasing, the rate of the reaction will also decreases. Natural phenomena. So here if we plot a graph with rate of the reaction and a time, in y-axis I am taking rate of the reaction, in x-axis I am taking time. This is rate. So rate is directly proportional to concentration. Initially reactants concentration is maximum, so rate is also maximum. As time goes on, the rate of the reaction will gradually decreases because concentration is decreasing. As reactants are take part into the concentration, automatically their concentration will decreases. As the concentration is decreasing, the rate is also decreases. So if you join this, you'll get a curve like this. This is for forward reaction. Now for backward reaction, initially products are not there, only reactants are present. As time goes on, products are forming. When products are forming, their concentration will gradually increases. As the concentration increases, the rate of the backward reaction will also increases. So here the rate of the backward reaction will like this. So it reaches to certain point. Now here one condition is there, that is, if the reacting species, both products and reactants are gases, there is one condition, that is, it should be conducted in a closed container. In the case of gases, for solutions, that open or closed is not a big problem. So when it reaches to this point, the rate of forward reaction will be equal to rate of backward reaction. This curve will be like this. This is said to be equilibrium state. For example, if the reacting species are gases and it was not conducted in a closed vessel, in such cases, the curves will be like this. That means only at certain point, the rate of the two cases, forward and backward reactions are equal, but the later it will be like this and it will be like this. So, one important condition to attain equilibrium. Equilibrium means the condition where the rate of forward reaction will equal to rate of backward reaction. In such cases, the reaction is said to be in equilibria. The rate of the reaction is said to be in equilibria. So equilibria means in a reversible chemical reaction, when it carried out in a closed container, at one stage, initially rate of forward reaction is more, rate of backward reaction is very less. But after some time, rate of forward reaction will equal to rate of backward reaction. So how can you identify both rates are equal? That means after that point, there will be no change in the concentration of reactants and products. So from that point onwards, there will be no change. So that's from that instant of time, the reaction is said to be in equilibria. That reaction said to be in equilibria. So main condition to attain this equilibria is the reaction should take place in a closed container. In reactants and products, anyone, if gaseous substances are involved, that reaction must be takes place in equilibria. The reaction must takes place in a closed container, then only it reaches to equilibrium. Now here equilibrium is of two types. One is homogeneous equilibria and other one is heterogeneous equilibria. Homogeneous equilibria, heterogeneous equilibria. What is homogeneous equilibria and what is heterogeneous equilibria? In any reaction, when it is in equilibrium, that means rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. Both reactants and products are in same phase. That means both reactants and products are liquids, or both reactants and products are solids. Such reaction is said to be homogeneous equilibrium. Homogeneous equilibrium. For example, H2 gas plus I2 gas reversibly gives 2HI gas. This is said to be in homogeneous equilibrium because all are in gaseous state. Similarly, CH3COOH plus C2H5OH reversibly gives CH3COO C2H5. This is liquid, this is liquid, and this is liquid. All are in liquid state. This is also another example for homogeneous equilibrium. Homo means same. Next, heterogeneous equilibrium. Heterogeneous equilibrium means reactants and products are different physical states. For example, NH4HS, ammonium bisulfide, it decomposes to give NH3 gas and H2S gas, but NH4HS is a solid. Similarly, CaCO3 solid decomposes to give CaO solid plus CO2 gas. So here they are in different phases. Such reactions are said to be heterogeneous equilibria. So equilibrium. There are two types of chemical reactions. One is irreversible chemical reaction and other one is reversible chemical reaction. Irreversible chemical reactions. Those reactions in which reactants will convert into products but under same experimental conditions and products cannot be converted back into reactants, such reactions are said to be irreversible chemical reactions. Examples for irreversible chemical reactions are acid-base reactions, combustion reactions, etc. Redox reactions, etc. Reversible chemical reactions. The reversible chemical reactions are the reactions in which reactants will convert into product under same experimental conditions. The products may not get back into reactants. Such reactions are said to be reversible chemical reactions. In reversible chemical reactions, conversion of reactant into product is known as forward reaction. Conversion of product back into reactant is known as backward reaction. With respect to rate of the reactions, for forward reaction, initially rate is maximum. When time goes on, its rate will gradually decreases. Whereas in the case of backward reaction, initially rate is minimum. With the time, rate will gradually increases. At one point of time, after one point of time, the rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. From that point onwards, the reaction is said to be in equilibrium. So, equilibrium means in a reversible chemical reaction, if forward reaction rate equal to backward reaction rate, such condition is said to be equilibrium, or the reaction is said to be in equilibria. Now, this chemical equilibrium is of two types, basing on the state of the reactants and products. They are homogeneous equilibrium and other one is heterogeneous equilibrium. In homogeneous equilibrium, both reactants and products all are in same phase. That means all are gases, all are liquids. All are gases, all are liquids. Such reactions are said to be homogeneous equilibrium. But there are certain reactions in which reactants and products are at different physical states. Such reactions are said to be heterogeneous equilibria. Now, let us study the characteristic properties of equilibrium. Characteristics of chemical equilibrium. So, let us study the characteristics of equilibria by taking one example, that is the equilibria that attained in the reaction of hydrogen with iodine. Now, here let us have iodine, the vapors of iodine. These vapors of iodine are violet in color. Now we have another jar which contains hydrogen gas. Now I inverted the jar which containing hydrogen over the jar which is containing iodine. Now when these two gases are mixed, then the reaction starts. When the reaction started, what happens? Hydrogen gas reacts with iodine gas to give HI gas. Hydrogen gas reacts with iodine gas to give HI gas. Because of that, slowly, because it is violet in color, it is colorless, but HI, it is white in color. HI is white in color, iodine is violet in color, hydrogen gas is colorless. So when the white color is increasing, automatically the violet color of iodine will decolorizes. So the change of color indicates us the reaction is proceeding. So this change we can observe certain period of time. After some time, we'll observe that the decolorizing of violet is stopped. The formation of white color or increasing of white color is also stopped. That means there will be no change in the color with the time. If you keep it for 2 days or 3 days or 4 days or 5 days or 1 week, if you wait, there will be no change in the color, because immediately when we join the two jars, the change of color immediately observed. That change is continued certain period of time, but after that the change is found to be not takes place. That means the change is stopped or ceased. It indicates that reaction is not going. Okay, so to certain extent the reaction was proceed. After that the reaction is closed. It seems to be like that. If we keep on keeping that jar at the same temperature for days together, there will be no change. Another thing, in second case, I have taken HI gas in a container. This HI gas is white in color. This HI gas is white in color. If I keep that in that temperature, after some time, I observe the development of a violet color. Because it is colorless, it is not visible, but iodine, the development of violet color, I observed. When time goes on, the violet color deepens. That means violet color is increasing. The increase of violet color indicates the formation of iodine. Increasing of violet color indicates the formation of iodine. Decreasing of violet color indicates the consumption of iodine. So here in this case also, after some time, the change of the colors were stopped. Here also I assumed that the reaction is stopped. Now if I ask you, which reaction starts with which product? That means whether it is a reaction is started with HI, because these are the two different cases. In the first case, I have taken hydrogen and iodine. In the second case, I have taken hydrogen iodide. But after some time, both are in the same condition. Now I cannot claim from which side the equilibrium was established. Now what is equilibrium? So let us study the case with the first example, that is first case, H2 plus I2. Initially these two are present. Gradually these two will react with each other to give hydrogen iodide. After attaining certain concentration, this hydrogen iodide is converted back into hydrogen and iodine. At one stage, the formation of hydrogen iodide will be equal to decomposition of hydrogen iodide. In that state only, I observed that there will be no change in the color. So first point that you have to remember, the establishment of equilibria can be identified with the help of color change. With the help of color change, you can identify whether the reaction is at equilibria or not. If color change is continuously growing or takes place, in such cases the reaction is not attain equilibria. Whenever you observe that there will be no change in color, at that state only the reaction is said to be in equilibria. That is one point. And another thing is, here we have taken another case. Hydrogen iodide was initially taken. Hydrogen iodide was initially taken. It decomposes to give hydrogen and iodine. This is observed by the gradual increase of violet color. After some time, this hydrogen and iodine converted back into hydrogen iodide. Now in these two examples, equilibrium was established from H2 and I2, starting with H2 and I2, and also starting with HI. That means, for a reversible chemical reaction, the equilibrium may attain either from reactant side or from product side. That is another important point to remember. If they are same phase, so this is an example of homogeneous equilibrium. If two different cases, for example, if we take calcium carbonate, we will prepare lime by decomposing calcium carbonate, by heating calcium carbonate. In lime kaolin, what we will do, the carbon dioxide is allowed to escape into the atmosphere. If we are not allowed to escape carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, then the reaction will not goes on completion. So, CaCO3 reversibly gives CaO plus CO2. This is gas, this is solid, and this is solid. This is an example of heterogeneous equilibrium. Now in lime kaolin, if we allow carbon dioxide to escape, though it is a reversible reaction, it will not attain equilibria. The equilibrium state is established only when the reaction takes place in a closed container. This is the most important condition to attain equilibria. Only reversible reaction is not sufficient to get equilibria. The state of reversible reaction is different from getting into equilibria. So equilibrium will establish it in a reversible reaction only when it is carried out in a closed container. In lime kaolin, the calcium carbonate is completely converted into lime because there we are allowing carbon dioxide into atmosphere. So another important point is, suppose in lime kaolin, if you will not allow carbon dioxide into atmosphere, then what happens? So calcium carbonate initially decomposes to give calcium and oxygen, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. After attaining certain concentrations, they combined get back into calcium carbonate, and equilibrium will attain. That means if you take limestone, only 20 or 30% or 40% reaction will take place, and the remaining calcium carbonate will be like that even if you heat it for days together. So here the main task for this topic is how to manage a chemical reaction to be completed. Establishment of equilibrium is not essential for us in practical manner or industrially. Suppose if you are preparing one chemical, your profit will depend upon the quantity of the substance that you have prepared. If it is an equally irreversible chemical reaction, what are the steps that you have to take to get more yield of products can be explained by this topic. The main motive of this topic is this. Because there are so many reversible reactions are practically used in the industries. So, to know the conditions to apply to get more products, here we are going to learn from this topic. So, here characteristics of equilibria. Characteristics of equilibria means equilibria will attain only in a reversible chemical reactions. Next, if any one of the reactant and product are gases, the reaction must be takes place in a closed container, then only the equilibrium will be established. Establishment of equilibria can be identified with the change of color or change of concentration. If change of concentration and color are constant, that means the is zero, there will be no change in concentration or there will be no change in the color, then the reaction is said to be in equilibria. Two types of equilibria are there, homogeneous equilibria and heterogeneous equilibria. So, and equilibrium I attain from reactant side as well as from product side. In a reversible reaction, we'll have both the things. So, initially by taking reactants, we can get products. From that also the equilibrium may establish. Suppose in first example, the product is taken as a reactant, then also you will get the equilibria. So, equilibria for a reversible reaction may attain from reactant side as well as from products side. Next, application of law of mass action to a reversible chemical reaction. Application of law of mass action to a reversible chemical reaction. Now, let us take a reaction A plus B reversibly gives C plus D. So, AB are reactants and CD are products. According to law of mass action, the rate of forward reaction, because in forward reaction A and B are the species which take part into the reaction. In a backward reaction, C and D are the species which take part into the chemical reaction. So, rate of forward reaction RF is directly proportional to product of the molar concentrations of A into B, or RF is equal to KF into A into B. Rate of backward reaction RB is directly proportional to concentration of C into concentration of D, or RB is equal to KB into concentration of C into concentration of D. Now at equilibrium state, rate of forward reaction will be equal to rate of backward reaction. KF into concentration of A into concentration of B will be equal to KB into concentration of C into concentration of D, or KF by KB is equal to concentration of C into concentration of D by concentration of A into concentration of B. KB is rate constant of backward reaction, KA is rate constant, KF by KB. KF is rate constant of forward reaction and KB is rate constant of backward reaction. These two are constants. So, instead of two constants, we can take a single constant Kc. So, Kc is equal to concentration of C into concentration of D by concentration of A into concentration of B. So, this is known as equilibrium constant of a chemical reaction with respect of molar concentrations. Equilibrium constant means the ratio between rate constant of forward reaction by rate constant of backward reaction. It will be equal to product of the molar concentrations of product and product of the molar concentrations of the reactant, because concentration of C and concentration of D are the products of molar concentrations of products, whereas ABs are reactants. That's why product of the molar concentrations of product by product of the molar concentrations of the reactants is known as equilibrium constant. Now we are going to study the characteristics of this equilibrium constant after learning when different number of moles of, here 1 mole of A, 1 mole of B and 1 mole of C and 1 mole of D are involved in the chemical reaction. But in all chemical reactions are not like that, because the number of moles of reactants and the number of moles of products may differ. So what is the condition when the number of moles are at different numbers? Let us verify another example. So if different number of moles of reactants and products are involved in a chemical reaction, for example, small a moles of A will react with small b moles of B, reversibly gives small c moles of C and small d moles of D are formed. Now here if you observe, the coefficient before the reaction will appear as a power. Why it is appearing as a power? Let us verify. Here suppose for example, if 2 moles of A will take part into the reaction, so and 3 moles of B is take part into the reaction. 2 moles of A means A plus A. 3 moles of B means B plus B plus B. Now if I want to write rate for the forward reaction, so rate of forward reaction is directly proportional to molar concentrations of the reactants. That means concentration of A into concentration of A into concentration of B into concentration of B into concentration of B. Here bases are same. So in such cases what you will get, RF is directly proportional to concentration of A square into concentration of B cube. That means the coefficient will appear as a power. The coefficient of B will appear as a power to B. So when different number of moles are involved in the chemical reaction, the coefficients will appear as powers in the rate equation. That means rate of forward reaction, RF, is directly proportional to concentration of A to the power A and into concentration of B to the power B. Similarly, RF is equal Kf into concentration of A to the power A into concentration of B to the power B. Similarly, for backward reaction, RB is directly proportional to concentration of C to the power small c and concentration of D to the power small d, or RB is equal to Kb into concentration of C to the power C into concentration of D to the power D. Now at equilibrium state, RF is equal to RB. Now RF is equal to Kf into concentration of A to the power A into concentration of B to the power B. Similarly, RB is equal to Kb into concentration of C to the power C into concentration of D to the power D. Now, rate constant of forward reaction, Kf is the rate constant of forward reaction. Kf by Kb is equal to, because Kb into C, so in cross multiplication we have to get the back this expression. So Kf by Kb is equal to concentration of C to the power C into concentration of D to the power D by concentration of A to the power A into concentration of B to the power B. Kf is a constant, Kb is a constant. Instead of two constant, we can write a single constant Kc. Kc is equal concentration of C into concentration of C into concentration of D by concentration of A into concentration of B. This Kc is known as equilibrium constant with respect of molar concentrations. Now, characteristic of equilibrium constant, whether it is a same number of moles or different number of moles are involved. The equilibrium constant is nothing but the ratio between the rate constant of forward reaction with rate constant of backward reaction. That means rate constant of forward reaction by rate constant backward reaction is equilibrium constant. Or the product of the molar concentrations of the product and product of the molar concentrations of the reactants is equal to equilibrium constant. For a given reaction, equilibrium is constant as long as temperature is constant. By changing the concentration of reactants and products, equilibrium constant will not change. In competitive examination, this is the most important thing that they are going to ask about the equilibrium constant. As long as temperature is constant, whatever the changes that you have done with respect to concentrations or with respect to pressures or with respect to anything catalyst, as long as temperature is constant, the equilibrium constant for a given reaction is constant. It will not change. And it is independent of initial concentrations of reactants and products. If the reaction is started with 2 grams and 2 grams, equilibrium constant will have certain value. Even if you started the reaction with 2 tons and 2 tons, for the same reaction, equilibrium constant does not change. It indicates that it is independent of initial concentrations. Equilibrium constant is independent of initial concentrations, is independent of pressures, are independent from how you have started the reaction. But it depends only on temperature. As long as temperature is constant, equilibrium constant will not change. But it depends upon how you are representing the reaction. How you are representing, basing on that only the value of equilibrium constant depends. Let us see how it depends on mode of writing a chemical reaction. We have already discussed that equilibrium for a reversible chemical reaction may attain in any direction. Let us take example of hydrogen and iodine react to give 2HI. So we can write this reaction in so many ways, because equilibrium may attain from this side or from that side. So now this reaction can be expressed as follows. That means half H2, first I write this one, H2 plus I2 reversibly gives 2HI. Half H2, half mole of H2 reacts with half mole of I2, reversibly gives HI. This is two ways to represent. Another way is 2HI reversibly gives H2 plus I2. HI reversibly gives half H2 plus half I2. Same reaction, as it is a reversible chemical reaction, equilibrium may attain at from any direction. So the equilibrium constants will depend upon all or take place at same temperatures. But the equilibrium constants values are differ as the mode of representation is changing. Now, if even though if change there may be a certain relation, now I am going to get that relation, what relation that they are having. For this reaction, if equilibrium constant is K1, and for this reaction, equilibrium constant is K2, and for this reaction, equilibrium constant is K3, and for this reaction, equilibrium constant is K4. Now, let us study how K1 related with K2, and K1 related with K3, and K1 related with K4, and vice versa. Now, let us compare these two, K1 and K2. Now, how K1 is equal to concentration of Hi whole square, because product of the concentration Hi whole square by concentration of H2 into concentration of I2. For expression for K2 is equal to, for K2, concentration of Hi by concentration of H2 to the power 1 by 2 and I2 to the power 1 by 2. 1 by 2 means nothing but root. So, you will get K1 from K2 where? When you whole square this expression, when you whole square this expression, Hi whole square, instead of root you will get this one. That means K1 is equal to K2 square. K1 is equal to K2 square, or K2 is equal to root of K1, because if you take root for this expression you will get this. So this is the relation between K1 and K2. K1 is equal to K2 square, or K2 is equal to root of K1. Now, let us verify the relationship between these two, this one, 1 and 3. So for 1 and 3, for 1 we have already written here. For 1, K1 is equal to concentration of Hi whole square by concentration of H2 into concentration of I2. For this reaction K3, K3 is equal to concentration, because H2 and I2 are the products here, concentration of I2 by concentration of Hi whole square. Now, from the, when you compare these two expressions, this is reverse to this. That means if you reverse it, you will get this. That's why K1 is equal to 1 by K3, or K3 is equal to 1 by K1. So this is the relation between K1 and K3. Now, let us compare this with this. So for first expression, K1 is equal to concentration of Hi whole square by concentration of H2 into concentration of I2. For fourth expression, Kf is equal to H2 to the power 1 by 2 into I2 to the power 1 by 2 by a concentration of Hi. Now let us compare these two expressions. Here it was reversed and rooted. That means K1 is equal to 1 by K4 square, or K4 is equal to 1 by root K1. So if this root K1 expression is reversed and taken square root, then you will get K4. So this is the relationship between K4 and K1. So we have the relationships between different mode of expressions, equilibrium constants with different modes of expression of a chemical reactions are like this. Similarly, with K4, K3 and K4, you will get K3 is equal root of, K3 is equal K4 square or K4 is equal root of K3. If reactants and products are gases, instead of molar concentrations, their partial pressures can be considered as their active masses. For example, if we take a chemical reaction, A gas reacts with gas B, reversibly gives C, which is also a gas, and D, which is also a gas. Now, PA is the partial pressure of A, PB is the partial pressure of B, PC is the partial pressure of C, and PD is the partial pressure of D. Now, if PA, PB, PC, PD are partial pressures of A, B, C, D, then rate of forward reaction RF is directly proportional to PA into PB, product of the partial pressures of the reactants. Similarly, our RF is equal to KF into PA into PB. RB, rate of backward reaction, is directly proportional to partial product of the partial pressures of the products, that is PC into PD. Then RB is equal KB into PC into PD. At equilibrium state, rate of forward reaction will be equal to rate of backward reaction. RF is equal to RB. Therefore, KF into PA into PB is equal to KB into PC into PD. Then KF by KB is equal to PC into PD by PA into PB. KF is rate constant for forward reaction. KB is rate constant for backward reaction. Instead of two constant terms, we can take a single constant Kp. Kp is equal to PC into PB, PD by PA into PB. So Kp is said to be equilibrium constant with respect of partial pressures. Kp is the equilibrium constant of a chemical reaction with respect of Kp. The characteristics of Kp is also same, because for a given reaction, Kp is constant as long as temperature is constant. It is independent of initial pressures of the reactants and products, and it is independent of quantity of the reactants and products. It's only depend upon the temperature of the reaction. But similarly, Kc, it is also depend upon the mode of expressing the chemical reaction with an equation, because while writing an equation, different ways we can write the chemical reaction, so that the equilibrium constant will differ with mode of writing a chemical reaction. Relation between Kp and Kc. For a same reaction, for example, if you take A plus B, reversibly gives C plus D. If they are gases, we can express the rate of the reaction, the equilibrium constant, with respect of molar concentrations as well as with respect of their partial pressures also. According to molar concentrations, the equilibrium constant Kc can be written as concentration of C into concentration of D by concentration of A into concentration of B. Or Kp can be written as Kp is equal partial pressure of C into partial pressure of D by partial pressure of A into partial pressure of B. Now we are going to discuss the relationship between Kp and Kc. These two are constants for the same reaction. We can express the equilibrium constant for the same reaction at same temperatures with respect to molar concentrations. We can express the equilibrium constant, and with respect to partial pressure also, because the gases are involved, we can express the equilibrium constant. Now, what is partial pressure? Partial pressure, we know that according to ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. Similarly, if partial pressure, PA is equal to NA by V into RT. We can write like this. PV is equal to nRT. For gas A, number of partial pressure is A and number of moles is Na. Because volume is same, because all gases are at same container, their volume is same, temperature is same, and gas constant is same. Only difference is the number of moles. When number of mole changes, partial pressure will also changes. If number of moles are same, partial pressure will be same, because at same conditions of temperature and pressures, the partial pressures are directly proportional to their mole numbers. So for PB is equal to NB by V into RT. PC is equal to NC by V into RT. Or PD is equal to ND by V into RT. Suppose if different number of moles are involved, A, B moles of B, C moles of C, and small d moles of D. Now we can write the equilibrium constant Kp is equal to concentrate PC to the power C into PD to the power D by PA to the power A into PB to the power B. So here also the Kp, Kc is C, D, A, B. C, D, A, B. Now PC to the power, so Kp is equal to PC to the power C. What is PC? NC by V into RT. So NC by V to the power C, RT to the power C. Similarly, what is PD to the power D? PD is equal to ND by V to the power small d into RT to the power small d whole by what is PA? PA is Na by V. Na by V to the power small a into NB by V, into RT to the power A into NB by V to the power B into RT to the power B. Now here this can be written as, again I am going to write here, Kp is equal to Nc by V to the power C into Nd by V to the power small d into RT to the power C plus D, where C is the number of moles of C and D is the number of moles of D, by Na by V to the power small a into NB by V to the power small b into RT to the power A plus B. So here N by V is nothing but molar concentration. N by V is nothing but molar concentration. So NC by V is nothing but molar concentration of C. ND by V is nothing but molar concentration of D. Na by V is nothing but molar concentration of A, and Nb by V is nothing but molar concentration of B. So this can be written as Kp is equal to concentration of C to the power C into concentration of D to the power D by concentration of A to the power A into concentration of B to the power B into RT to the power C plus D minus A plus B. Here C to the power C into D to the power D by A to the power A into B to the power B is nothing but Kc. Therefore, Kp is equal to Kc into RT to the power delta N, where delta N is number of moles of total number of moles of products by total number of moles of reactants. N is equal to total moles of products minus total moles of reactants. C plus D minus A plus B. So this is the relationship between Kp and Kc. If delta N is 0, that means number of moles of products and number of moles of reactants are same, then RT to the power 0 is 1. In such cases, Kp is equal to Kc. If delta N is positive means number of moles of products is more than number of moles of reactants, then delta N will be positive. In such cases, Kp is greater than Kc. If delta N is negative means number of moles of products is less than number of moles of reactants. In such cases, Kp is less than Kc. This is the relationship between Kp and Kc.